Ariana Grande has returned with Petal, a project that follows her acclaimed Eternal Sunshine and stint as Glinda the Good. Par the course, I think it marks yet another jewel and quite the crown of a career. I was not expecting some of these sonic shifts and decisions. You guys know the drill. I'm going to give a quick recap, then my overall take on it before going track by track and assigning a score. I honestly thought that the rollout was perfect. For context, I do love doing recaps. Grande's last pop effort, Eternal Sunshine, spawned not one, but two chart toppers. It continued her hot streak on the album's charts. Some speculated that her successful turn as Glinda would mean that she would not return to music so soon. Grande would end up teasing the record at the top of this year. A proper teaser through studio images and more happened in April when she confirmed the album had kinda wrapped recording around the 8th. She revealed the record itself later in April, showcasing a return to black and white cover art. I think the cover art sparks a new image of Grande, someone who's freed from the ponytail, someone who's unabashedly happy. But also, there's a tint of melancholy there that I'll talk about later. The whole rollout has been rather aggressive, smartly played, and smooth. I think it's well calibrated for today's streaming era. The lead single, Hate That I Made You Love Me, dropped in May, and it went on to become her 10th number one. It is actually the 8th one of hers to debut at the top, and despite mixed critical reception, the song is actually on track to outlast all of Eternal Sunshine's singles in the top 10. This makes it a hit with the general public in a really cool understated way that I haven't seen recently. Grande would reveal the track list as she toured Eternal Sunshine, a tour that I got to attend, which reminded me about the raw star power and talent that Grande has. Getting tickets was hell, but this was actually one of my favorite shows of the decade, and it was also a great way to unfurl this era and keep the attention going. Grande would perform the title track just days before the album's drop at the end of July. So what were my overall thoughts? Petal is a curveball of a record. I think the album art actually captures this album in a sense perfectly. There's brightness that's present, but also a haze of gloominess that contradicts that. The production is done yet again by the dream team of Grande, Ilya, and Martin, though Martin is only on 3 of the tracks. It really shines throughout with some fun textures that feel fresh, but also evolved sketches of other sounds from other albums. In retrospect, I feel like Brighter Days is a test run for this new sound of hers. Dandelion is echoed in some ways on one of my favorite tracks, Never Get Over Me, to the point where you could actually layer the vocals over it into a beautiful mashup for the inevitable tour. Ari herself has said in recent interviews that the lyrics came from unfiltered rage and that she has refused to soften or rewrite the lyrics to accommodate other people's feelings. I have to say the lyricism on here is far more abstract and thematic than on her previous works. There is a depth emotionally that registers on here very loud and clear. The title track opens swinging with a snide line about how they say an artist needs the tears to write again. That one song just feels like the thesis for where she is emotionally. This music and I Will Never Die, along with the whole image of a pedal in the pavement, that metaphor, the introspection on that track, it really fits today's times. So I feel like this record kind of is more of a winter album than a summer one. There's been a lot of discourse as of late about Grande, her image, her body. This record, from its lead single to direct lines in the work themselves, acknowledge this so much that it's not hard to equate the songs. Songs that at any other time of the career would have just been seen as songs to lovers, as songs that are addressed to the audience at large. It'll be really interesting to see public reception because this play is very much about us. There's a lack of specificity as to the who of the songs, and more specificity towards the why and broader ideas. Sonically, it immediately clicked with me as a fan of Imogen Heap and someone aware of Grande's long-running love of said artist. This album dips into that sound. We hear this most on the closer Nowhere Nobody, which I thought really closed the record in a satisfying fashion. I have to admit, it is a mid-tempo album where there's just a lot of soulfulness to it. Everything feels luxurious, ornamented. There's rock elements in there, R&B, but also some New Order-esque melodic turns towards the end, especially on Bad Thing Bunny Hop, which reminded me a good deal of The Weeknd's Blinding Lights. If she ever needs a remix partner on that as a single, Abel would be perfect. This record is insanely cohesive in the sense that Grande has really manicured this selection of tracks. It is only 12 tracks. It feels very filler. It only runs 36 minutes, but it feels complete and lends itself to repeats effortlessly. It's not jarring to listen to, it's very pleasant to the ear. I think you could read to this album, maybe throw some ass here and there to Big Feelings. Vocally, I can see some people complain that she's rather subdued or restrained on this. Some will chalk it to her being on more of a minor key, but the intention and commitment to maintaining this simmering, calm rage, I think that makes it work. She doesn't have a single mega anthem, no big belty brassy smash hit on here, which on initial listen does feel like a downside, but I do think it's intentional to draw our attention towards the song's contents. Still, there are definitely some rich melodies embedded on here. Tracks like I Do, Big Feelings, and Freak have burrowed into my brain almost immediately. Oh Well was just a highlight to me, and the kind of point where I was just like, okay, I do like this album. The chill way that she sings Good Luck on Your Way to Hell, it's something that she can only sing about. I do think that if she was quoted in an article saying any of these lines, that instant cancellation. And I do think that vibe aligns to a lot of the lyrics on here. It's a very cinematic album, to say the least. The way that the sounds and production bleed character and story through the little accenting, bleeps and bloops, they color the scenes. I love them as a touch. My sole complaint, though, is the regression of sorts when it comes to enunciation. Part of my Eternal Sunshine praise was how clear I could hear her on each track. And in a way, it gave that record a sense of distinction and growth. On here, it's kind of a double-edged blade because it feels like a return to old Ariana in a sense. It's like seeing an old friend, but at times I had to really look at the lyrics to understand what she was singing. As for the visuals, the horror slant in the videos make me do think that Grande is perfect for the genre. I would not be surprised if we see her as a scream queen in a project. I think Petal's music video being a slam against people speculating she has some sort of personality disorder, she's mad. She's mad. And for you music nerds, here's my track by track. Kiss Me is a very rich opener. I think it's her best one to date. Sue me, I don't care. It's a blast of romantic energy. She doesn't waste a single second. It hooks you in. The opening synths just feel like color going into the eyes, like when you see a movie. The opening verse, it talks about empathy being this cure. And the lack of it just kind of being pain, and she feels like she doesn't belong. We get a pre-chorus that quotes Hunter S. Thompson of all people, buy the ticket, take the ride. It's about committing to a journey, this relationship, either with the public or a lover that she's singing about. The chorus is infectious, asking for a kiss that feels like a goodbye, because there's no guarantees aside from intentions, which she hopes is enough. It's very darkly romantic. Hate That I Made You Love Me slots perfectly into the album. It comes after that track as kind of a slam on the brakes. The line, turned tears into diamonds, got good at goodbyes, echoes that opener's sentiment. I adore the melody on the pre-chorus and the switch up that she makes. The ooh-oohs really just tickle the ear. The hook is deceptively simple, but it's so easy to sing along to, and the bridge has grown on me. I truly think it shifts it away from what would just be a breakup anthem to a full-blown protest song against the public perception. It's very direct. Petal is a marvelous track. The drama of the synths immediately smack you in the face alongside the pissed off lyrics. Verse 1, smacks you awake with accusations that she knows people think that she needs to be miserable to create. The pre-chorus contrasts fiction with the truth. She's aware of tragedy, but the music will speak for her. The chorus has this poetic and visual feel to it. She's painting herself as a persistent flower that's being smothered by the pavement but still growing. It examines praise and adoration from the public from her survivorship, which, is both a comfort and a drug. Verse 2 directly confronts how celebrity is impeding her growth. She refuses these rules. I am not a victim feels cathartic to hear. That painting metaphor from We Can't Be Friends is echoed again when she even notes her relationship curse. I think it's a song she needed to sing for some time. Stay has a more conventional vibe to it. I can see it being a single. I love the delivery on the track. It's very breathy. The pause-filled staccato of the track feels punctuated in a way that lets the production breathe. The last chorus has ad-libs that add an air of desperation and emotion to break through an earlier static feel of the track. I think lyrically this one's very straightforward. It speaks to the fear of losing someone and trying to overcome, anxiety. I think it's vulnerable and sweet. Oh Well was an immediate standout to me. The mechanical, percussive nature of the production really, it speeds up the tempo. There's garage influences in there. One of my diehard RE mutuals felt like this was Quit's sexier sister. It is viciously mad, as I noted in the overall section. The lyrics are just a fuck you. The verses call to this building hatred for dead ends and someone who expects her to constantly play the role of victim over and over again. The bridge and the closing section have this disassembling quality to them that felt intuitive. Of all songs on the record, I feel like this is where the vocals and the productions really synced the most. Big Feelings is a sultry number, R&B, classic sex pod double entendre, Ariana Grande. She is feeling her oats. Pussy So Sweet, a tear fell from his eye is insane. So is This Sex about to make a grown man cry. This is not subtle. She is feral on here. The chorus is an earworm. The vocal layering and the harmonies are sneaky. The bridge is sexy mermaid. Come swim in this water. She leans into the image of being a siren on this one, and I just love the last chorus with the soulful ad-libs. Freak, I was expecting from the title to continue that hot streak of sex bops, but it's actually this beautiful contemplative dialogue about the fantasy people make up in their heads about her, and Freak is actually in reference to a controlling partner or parasocial observers. She really embodies a flower on the track with the production. The pre-chorus feels like unfurling about patience and hope, and then the chorus is kind of the line in the sand. The bridge acknowledges this two-sided pain that she's causing, but the outro has her calling out for this toxic relationship to end. Warning Signs is a beautiful interlude that effortlessly flows off Freak and then becomes something more gnarly and self-possessed instrumentally and lyrically. She goes from ignoring warning signs to talking about her pain becoming music that becomes tattoos on her fans. This track kind of dissects the difference between a muse and a love. She comes to realize that she deserves better, longing for someone who will actually listen to her. Like I Do is the dark emo sister to God is a Woman melodically. It's another track about owning her narrative. The line "My ego small, but I'm still Grandy" has her using her grandfather's pronunciation of her last name, which is in line with how she's taking back her agency and her name. I think the chorus has her call out the tabloids that need her. The line "No one fucks you like I do" is a middle finger. Verse 2 gives insights into how she realizes that critics really do kind of feel ownership over her body, her music, and she comes to really ask the question that is the heart of this album: am I actually loved, or is this a toxic obsession? Never Get Over Me is a track that I felt like was an extension of Dandelion from the melody to the theme, but this one's about confidence. She is well aware that she is this once-in-a-lifetime love. She knows it. Lines like "the grass is way greener since I've been beneath ya" had me gagged a little bit, but I love the metaphor. I love how bold she is. The chorus is solid. But the bridge, throughout the record, all the bridges have been great, but she just cannot resist from that line about with how sweet it is, you'll be dreaming about the taste of me, before she calls back that iconic Thinking About You track with that line, but look, at least you'll have the memory. I love symmetry in records. I love records that have dialogue with each other, and she does that here. Bad Thing Bunny Hop is a rocky track that I think is a fun sonic shift for Grande. I think she floats through the air with the production. This one did require me to listen much closer because the enunciation on here, she sounds heavenly, but I did not understand a damn word. The lyrics allude to rekindling a romance with someone that she loved once before. She's ready to do it again, even though it's a bad thing. I love the line, "feeling like a teenager, I guess I really needed ya." It's so simple, but it gets the point across. The bridge has this tenderness to it where she finally surrenders to this bad thing of getting back with her ex, but the instrumental kind of paints it as this foregone conclusion. The album closes on the track Nowhere Nobody, a track about overcoming anxiety and trying to accept a present love, even knowing that it may be yet another sad footnote in a long-running saga. Ilya and Ari knocked it out of the park here. I think the production feels engaging, as is the vocals, where Ari just really lets loose with the vocoder and the layering. The chorus feels like a warm hug, but also a promise to stop running and embrace what's in front of her. All of this lamentation about a legacy, what has and will be said, and now she chooses to live. Beautiful ending. Overall, though, Petal is not her best record, but it is a strong addition to her body of work. It's experimental, unrepentantly sad and angry, all self-written lyrics-wise. A very unfiltered look into Ariana that I think we will appreciate as time passes. I'm giving it a preliminary 8.1 out of 10. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in to my quick Ariana Petal review. I've been looking forward to this album all summer since it's been announced. It was really solid. Let me know in the comments what you felt below. I know some of you did not like it. I've been seeing some mixed reception online, and it's really interesting, and I want to know your thoughts on it. Favorite tracks, least favorite tracks, and what you expect to kind of hear next time, because I don't think she's giving up music anytime soon. A quick shout out to my members. Thank you so much for taking that extra step of supporting my channel. A shout out to my subscribers. Love you guys. A quick shout out to my Substack folk. I love you guys too. I will see you next video very soon.